doing it all day long. I ain't talked. I've been cleaning all day. I ain't been on the phone with nobody. I ain't spoke a word to a human today besides my mom. So I got so much shit that I can yap about, bro. Taste test? Okay, bet. You know what? Fuck it. Taste test. All right, bet. Mashed potatoes. Chat, these are garlic and herb, whatever you want to say. Mashed potatoes. I'm gonna be honest. Only because these mashed potatoes are instant mashed potatoes, I'm gonna give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. But they're really good too. They're really good. The mac and cheese, I already know this is gonna be good. If it was homemade mac and cheese, it'd be 10 times better. I mean, look, it's mac and cheese, bro. 10 out of motherfucking 10. I love mac and cheese. You literally can never go wrong with it. Now the pork chops. This is what the real test is, okay? The damn pork chop. Let me give me a small little piece. Y'all see? As you can tell, that damn thing got seasoning to hell and back if it would focus. Chat, that thing got seasoning to hell and back. I mean, bro. That's gas. That's one of the best tasting pork chops I've ever cooked. And that wasn't even a good pork chop. Like, the pork chop tastes good, but the pork chop itself was not a really good pork chop. It was like thin as fuck. But it's not gas, it's trash. Brianna, watch your mouth talking about my food, bro. My food is not trash, it's gas. Now listen, everybody in the chat, we are about to get into this reaction video. Today, for the reaction video, we have mom disappears 20 years later. Daughter finds this in her diary. The case of Lana Bramble. Everybody in the chat, lock in. Go grab your popcorn. Go grab your food. Go grab your drinks. Do what you gotta do, because I got mine right here on deck. And as you can tell, I also got my big ass moose jug right here. Yes, I said moose jug. Okay? Now let's get into this fucking reaction. Everybody say what's good, YouTube, in the chat. And let's start this shit, bro. Everybody lock the fuck in. Hold on. I know y'all can't hear. Everybody lock the fuck in. Here we go.
Hello? Hello. I keep getting calls from Lolana, and she wants to know where her mother is. She pulled a gun on you. You took it off her and shot her, right?
Yeah, that's one story.
This recording sounds like a confession tape, but nothing in this case is what it seems. On October 12th, 1980, 9-year-old Lolana Bramble's mom, Marlene, leaves the house.
That's how you say her name. Bramble. Not Bramble. Bramble. Okay, bet. Chat, I gotta remember that, because my pronunciations on things, the way I be pronouncing shit, it's cooked, bro.
But never returns. Her husband Bill spends hours driving around, but finds nothing. Lolana believes her mom has abandoned her. October 13th, the next day, police investigate a man named Glenn St. Hilaire.
I got a question. Wait a second. What would y'all do if randomly one day you woke up and your parents weren't there? Would you automatically go to thinking like, yo, my parents got kidnapped, killed or something? Or would you just think, oh, my parents left me? Because I'm going to be honest. Let me tell y'all, my mom, I know for a fact that my mom would never run away like from her kids. Me, my other siblings, none of that. She ain't running away from us, bro. So I would automatically go to thinking some really bad shit happened, man.
After his affair with Marlene is made known, when questioned by the authorities, he hands over Marlene's diaries. Only a few hours later, police release Glenn St. Hilaire, and Marlene's case quickly grows cold. For more than 20 years, the circumstances surrounding Marlene's disappearance would remain a mystery, unless her daughter Lolana could solve her case, not yet knowing that hidden in the diary was something that put Marlene's children in grave danger.
Marlene loved those 2 kids, and there was no way in the world she would have left and not taken the kids with her.
You were pulled off.
I ain't gonna lie, chat, wait. I just said the same thing about my mom. But we don't know what happened in this case, bro. We don't know if this mom ran away. We don't know what happened with this mom, okay? I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, Megan, I'll see you in just a second.
Perfect crime, haven't you?
No, I wouldn't call it perfect. Because if a crime was perfect, nobody would ever know about it.
The very least I can do as her child is see that she gets justice.
The year is 1980. 4-year-old Lalana is living with her parents, Marlene and Bill, and her 8-year-old brother, Donald, in the small town of Verona, Kentucky. Marlene and Bill Major got married 9 years prior, and after raising 2 children together, the family seems happy from the outside world. But in reality, their parents' marriage is not what it appears to be. Marlene and Bill are constantly fighting, making the household unstable for both children. In the early summer of 1980,
Yo, wait, I got a question. Everybody, and be honest, be open, be vulnerable for a second. Spam ones in the chat if you grew up with a mom and a dad who fought and fussed all the time. Spam ones if you did, spam twos if you did not. I'm very curious, because I did not have parents that fought all the time. And when they didn't do it in front of us, okay? They did it away from the kids. They did it like on a whole different part of the house, or they went outside to deal with it and type of shit like that, bro. They never done it in front of us. But I'm asking because I want to know how it is to deal with something like that, man. I feel like dealing with parents who argue has to be such a stressful thing, especially growing up, bro. As a young ass kid, growing up with parents who argue have to be one of the most stressful things ever, dude. I wouldn't have been able to deal with it growing up, dead ass.
Bill meets 28-year-old Glenn St. Hilaire, who is hired as a regular handyman for the family, helping around the house. As time goes on, Glenn actually becomes a close friend of the married couple. But strangely, Bill seems to encourage his wife and Glenn to spend time alone. Months go by and the fighting between Bill and Marlene keeps getting worse, until one day, she threatens to leave him and take the kids with her, away from him. October 12th, Lalana and Donald are asleep in their bedrooms, like any other night.
I could
when
only
all of a
imagine,
sudden,
Jessica.
Bill wakes the 2 kids up and rushes them to their next-door neighbor. He tells them he will only be gone for a few hours and not to worry. The next morning, the kids wake up and their mother is gone.
She didn't have her driver.
Yo, that would be such a scary situation. Like waking up as a young ass kid. These kids only look like 5, 6, maybe 7 years old. And I better not see a single motherfucking 6, 7 in my chat. Don't even fucking think about it. But these kids look like they about 5, 6, maybe 7 years old. And to wake up and see that your mom isn't there. Yo, every man, every boy needs their mama, bro. And that's some real shit, chat. Every boy and every mom, every boy needs their damn mama, bro. It don't matter how old you are. You always gonna be a mama's boy if you are a man. Don't tell me what to do. Yo, why y'all spamming 6, 7? Old ass meme, chat.
Her license, her social security card. She had nothing with her. It was literally like she had just completely dropped off the face of the earth.
October 13th, 1980.
That's gotta be
One
scary,
day
bro.
later, Glenn, the close family friend, is at the police station talking to a detective.
Glenn St. Hilaire explained to me that a girl by the name of Marlene Major is missing.
The mom of 2 has yet to return home.
Check
No one
out
can
my
find
big-ass
her, and her
moose
kids
jaw.
are worried. Although Glenn is the one who reported the missing woman, the police become suspicious of him.
Glenn St. Hilaire would be a good, and now he's coming in to report someone else's wife missing. A little bit unusual.
The police actually investigated him and suspected him of having something to do with her disappearance.
Wait, they didn't say it was the husband? Okay, whoa. I missed something here. Wait, I gotta listen now. Apparently I missed something.
However, police need more information and go to Marlene's husband, Bill, to understand his side of the story. Bill tells police a shocking revelation. His wife was having an affair with Glenn, and that on the night of her disappearance, she left in her car to go see the 28-year-old man.
We have 2 people who are reporting the same person.
Damn! He was getting cheated on. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That's bad. I kind of think he's the one who done it, chat. It's gotta be the husband, because why would the other dude kill the wife if he wasn't the one getting cheated on? You know what I'm saying, bro? It's gotta be the husband, because he was the one getting cheated on, not the other guy.
Missing. They're both pointing fingers. And so the concern is what really happened. Bill's story is believable because one spouse isn't happy with the other and A lot of times they'll take the kids and they'll leave. All indications was that she left in her car.
The two men's versions of the story don't add up, and now police are worried for Marlene's safety. They talk to the neighbors and possible witnesses, but no one has seen or heard anything.
We're able to search the immediate area within days of this happening and couldn't find any indication of any foul play, blood, or anything.
Detectives don't have anything to go on in the surrounding area, so they send Marlene Major's profile to different agencies to expand the search.
Her dental records were faxed all over the United States. Anytime there was a woman of her approximate build and approximate age who was found, I'd say they were probably faxed at least 25 different times.
Glenn seems genuinely worried for Marlene, eager to help the detectives find her. He presents what could be an interesting piece of evidence, the young woman's secret diary. Inside, Marlene has written that her children are in grave danger.
Oh.
Marlene couldn't even tell that horrific secret to her own family, but she did record it in her diary. Not in...
What the? Yo, what it? Why do people think like this? If your kids are in danger and you know about it, why would you write about it in your diary instead of actually telling somebody in your family that could do something about it, bro? If your kids are in danger and you're writing about it in your diary, unfortunately, nobody else is gonna be able to find out about that shit unless they read your diary, which is what's happening now. But it's already too late, bro. You done fucking went missing. Chat, why do people think like that, man? It makes no sense.
Specific detail, but enough that you know what she's talking about.
But unfortunately, the detectives find themselves unable to take any action based on what the mom has written.
Legally, we had all kinds of problems with trying to make a case out of vagueness in the diaries. She didn't get specific, so there wasn't a whole lot we could do with that at that time.
Even though what is written in the diary is compelling, it cannot be used to convict anyone because usually, diaries are considered hearsay in court. Unbeknownst to the investigators,
why would a mom write down in her diary that her kids are in danger if it wasn't true? Like, actually, think about that real quick. If you're writing something in your diary, that is something for you and only you to see. So it's some of the most personal things and unknown information about yourself that's written in there. Why would she lie about it in her diary? It should have been used as evidence.
the diary would later be vital in solving the case, but for the time being, Marlene's diary will remain on a police investigation shelf for 2 decades, unseen from the 2 children.
That's 20 years. 20 years, bro. That they didn't look at that diary and it had the answers the whole entire time. That is fucked up. That's why I say the police system, not even just today, over the last 20, 30 years, the police system has been so crooked, bro.
Till Lalana becomes an adult. With 2 potential suspects in mind, but still 0 evidence to go on, the investigators can't go much further and let both men return home. Only a few days after, Bill takes the 2 children and moves to Pawtucket, Rhode Island. At first, Lalana thinks it's only temporary, but quickly learns it's not.
We got told that we were going to live there now. We had no idea, and we're completely taken aback.
It's now late October, 1980. Lalana and Donald are finally given an explanation about their mom, as their dad sits them down and coldly says that their mother has abandoned them, ran away with a boyfriend, and that they will never see her again.
Yo, see, that right there is the reason why I think it was the dad. Because, chat, why the hell would their dad sit there and tell them that the mom ran away when clearly something wrong happened? Something bad happened to the mom. The fact that the dad told the mom that, or told their kids that, even though he shouldn't have knew what happened, it's clearly obvious the dad was the one who done this shit, bro. He killed their mom.
My dad basically told us that she was
the whole
drug
time.
addict, alcoholic prostitute, you know, who just really didn't care about us, and that she had run off with another man.
That's
Lalana
messed
doesn't
up,
move.
bro.
She has not yet fully grasped what her father really means.
To tell
in
your
her
kids that?
confusion, only one thing stays clear in her mind. With their mom gone, who will protect them against their father? Meanwhile, back in Kentucky, the police investigation comes to a standstill.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Who will protect them against their father? Something's going on here, Chet, and it doesn't sound like it's gonna be good.
I couldn't even call the case a murder case because I had no evidence to show that she was dead. We had nothing.
You know, it's not that I gave up. I never gave up. You're always hoping something will pop up, but up to this point, things were looking pretty bleak for us.
Months go by, but Lalana can't stop thinking about her mom. Even if she believes her mother has abandoned them, the little girl misses her and dreams that she will come back one day.
There's that fuzzy moment where you're starting to wake up and you're not quite awake, but you're not totally asleep either. And there was a lot of days that I would hit that moment and I would stop and I would listen. And I just knew that there was going to be a knock on the door and it was going to be her.
It's now 1981.
Whoa, hold on a second. If their mom comes back knocking on that damn door, I'm about to spaz out. That's like some ghost story type shit. Rising from the dead type shit, bro. She better not come back to that door and show up on that front step. If she does, that's like some coming back from the dead type of shit, bro. We ain't fucking with that.
The family has been living in Rhode Island for 1 year.
From the outside looking in, nobody had any clue what was going on inside that household.
The 5-year-old girl still hasn't heard from her mother, and whenever she asks her father about her whereabouts, or if he received news from her, he suddenly lashes out and becomes enraged, even violent towards her and her brother.
100%.
The violence escalates over time, to the point where going to school has become difficult for the siblings, constantly needing to cover up their injuries.
I've seen him beat my brother to the point Donald could not pick himself up off the floor. You know, you would miss school.
Oh, no. See? That's the type of shit I was talking about at the beginning of this. Halfway through this, I said, the dad did it. Why would why would the other person hurt the mother if they wasn't having an affair on them? Like, yo, chat, this is a married couple, right? And the mom was cheating on the dad with some other dude that she wasn't even dating. She was just sleeping with. Why would that dude do anything to the mom when he is the one she is cheating on her husband with? It would make no fucking sense for him to do that, bro.
Because you had bruises?
But that's not the worst part for the little girl. Her dad starts to force her to do things no child should ever do.
His favorite threat was, if you don't do what I tell you to do, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'll kill your brother.
No way.
And he would turn around and tell my brother, if you don't do what I tell you to, I'll kill your sister.
Yo. Every fucking time we do one of these videos, I ask myself, what the hell is wrong with these dumbass people? How can you sit here and birth a child and impregnate a woman? And I'm talking about this for women and men, because we've watched murder cases where the moms have killed their kids too. How can you sit there and murder your own children or even threaten that shit, bro? How? It makes no sense. You got that woman pregnant and or you're literally sitting there to your own kid's face telling them, yo, if you don't do this, if you don't listen to me and do this, you're gonna die. Your brother's gonna die. Like, bro, that's some of the most fucked up shit I've ever heard watching one of these reaction videos. That was crazy.
So he used our feelings for each other, our love for one another, against us.
Meanwhile, the Kentucky police officers still have no new evidence on the missing case of Marlene.
Kirsten, what's
and without a body,
good?
they have no way to convict anyone.
Kirsten, how are you?
1984. 3 years have gone by, and Lalana is now 8 years old. Her mom is still missing, and there's no new information about the case, but someone out there knows where she is. One day, after school, things take a turn for the worse. Donald is off with some of his—
Okay, I have a question. Do y'all think the mom is dead? If you do, spam ones. If you think the mom is still alive, spam twos. I kind of feel like the mom's still alive, chat. I don't know why. I have a feeling that the mom is still alive, bro. Busy. It's windy right now. Bro, Kirsten, it's been so cold in Georgia. Yo, Lily, what's good, dude? How's your day, Preston? Megan, it's been so amazing. How's your day been?
Friends,
Yeah, I think she's
and
still
Lalana
alive,
is alone
bro.
with her father.
And I was outside in front of the trailer playing in the yard. And he grabbed me by the back of the hair and he threw me in the trailer. And he took a gun and he shoved it in my face. And he told me that if I did not learn to keep my mouth shut.
This is what I was just talking about. How can you sit there and do shit like this to your children, bro? This is a father putting a gun to his own daughter's head. Please, 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 please. I need an explanation. Like, I need to sit down with one of these serial killers or one of these murderers, one of these people that's here and threaten their kids. I need to sit down with one of these people and have a conversation with them so I can at least try to understand what the hell is wrong with their brains, bro. Because that is so fucked up. To be able to sit there and put a gun in your daughter's face, your son's face too, but like your daughter, bro, that's even worse. Both are terrible, but the daughter, like, come
Lalana
on,
is
man.
left alone, paralyzed by fear. The little
As a
girl
dad,
has
you're
learned to
supposed to
keep
protect.
quiet about what is really happening inside the house. It's now 1985. The father has remarried a woman named Pauline, who is the new stepmom to Lalana and Donald. From the outside, the newly blended family appears normal, but life in the Majors household hasn't changed. Lalana continues to stay silent, protecting her and her brother, until one day, while alone in a room, Donald, now 13, walks up to his younger sister and tells her that from this day on, their life would change forever.
Donald said to me, he said, it's over. He said, he's not gonna hurt us anymore. And I said,
Before they even say it, you know what? I'm not even gonna take a guess. I'm gonna just let it play out. I'm not even gonna take a guess.
what are you talking about? He said, I told Pauline. And she caught the cops and they're gonna arrest him.
Oh my
My
gosh.
first reaction was, we're both dead.
Lalana paces nervously across the room. Now that her brother has spoken up, it's
Oh,
unclear
shit,
how their
chat.
father might react, as
Hold
his
on, we gotta
violent
lock in.
outbursts have always been unpredictable to the two kids. It's August 10th at around 7 p.m. The whole family is at home when, all of a sudden, someone knocks at the Major's door. Lalana is
shit.
petrified. Her and Donald hide behind the corner when policemen suddenly run onto the property. The children watch in disbelief as their dad is taken by officers and put into handcuffs.
And I can remember watching them put the handcuffs on him, and he turned around and he looked down that hallway at us. And I was
Yo, this guy even looks creepy. Wait a second. Why does he look creepy, bro? I feel like he looks like somebody that would do some really fucked up shit like this, man. Okay, hold on. Chat, can y'all look at somebody sometimes and just kind of be able to tell if somebody's a weirdo? Facts, Brianna, he looks creepy as shit, man. To me, he does. Yo, Ethan, what's
we're
good?
dead. I'm like, if they don't keep him, we're dead.
Bill Major
Nah, y'all gotta think about that though. If they don't keep the dad in jail, them kids, or if they wouldn't have kept the dad in jail, them kids really probably would have been dead, bro. That's scary to think about. If the dad wouldn't have stayed in jail, them kids probably would have been dead.
is sentenced to only 15 years behind bars, with the possibility of parole. After their dad's arrest, 9-year-old Lalana and 13-year-old Donald move back to Kentucky to live with their maternal grandmother. The siblings now try to grow up like normal kids, but something is still deeply wrong. At home, everyone avoids talking about Marlene. She's been gone for 5 years, with no one actively looking for her. Lalana struggles to accept that her mom won't ever come back, and misses her greatly. One day, Lalana is alone with her grandmother. It's the perfect opportunity to ask for the first time about her mom's disappearance.
We were sitting.
Oh, the grandma's fixing to tell her the truth. The grandma's fixing to tell her the truth, bro. And you know the grandma knows some shit. Chat, grandmas know everything. Let me tell y'all something about my granny, okay? I'm not playing when I say this. I could have literally done some really bad shit as a kid. I could have done something bad, like something that I would have normally got in trouble for, and she wouldn't have seen me do it, right? But somehow, my grandma always knew I'd done something before it was either done or before she seen me do it, bro. I don't know how the hell, but my grandma always got on my ass before I even done the bad shit, or before she even knew I done the bad shit. She just had a gut feeling about it, bro. I'm telling y'all, don't fuck with y'all's grandmas, chat. They know shit that you think they don't know. Every time.
From a department store, and I said, well, do you know where my mother is? You know, have you seen her? Have you heard from her? It was just like 10 seconds of absolute silence. And she looked at me, she said, honey, she said, your mother's dead. She said, she's been dead.
Oh my.
She said, your father killed her.
Lalana is shocked at her grandmother's secret.
What did I just fucking tell y'all, bro? Grandmas know everything. Grandmas know everything. And I was wrong too. The mom's dead. I thought the mom was still gonna be alive, but the mom's dead. My question is, how the hell does the grandma know that? And why is this guy not in prison for murdering the mother when clearly people know? See, this is what yo, chat, this is what I be talking about. How the hell do people get away with shit like this? If the grandma knows the mom is murdered, why hasn't the grandma said something to the police sooner, man?
But can't fully accept it. All her life, her dad told Lalana and Donald that their mom ran away and didn't love them. But now, her grandmother is saying it's not the truth. It's possible Marlene may have been a victim of Bill, but unfortunately, no one has looked for her in years, and there's no evidence. So Lalana is forced to take matters into her own hands.
I got a composition notebook, it cost me like 99 cents at Walmart, and if I talked to somebody, I wrote the date, the time, and what the conversation was over.
Lalana gets as much information she can possibly get her hands on. With a cold case, the resources are...
W daughter. Yo, chat, W daughter. She over here trying to solve her own mom's murder case by herself. And this girl was only like 8, 9 years old at the time, bro.
Limited, but this doesn't stop her. However, now in 1997, the investigation takes a dangerous turn. Her father, Bill, is suddenly released from jail on good behavior, having only served 12 years behind bars.
When he finally got out of jail, I was terrified he was gonna hunt me down. That even after all that time, if there was a way he could get to me, he would.
More anxious than ever to solve her mom's disappearance and find evidence to put her father in jail for life, Lalana goes to the police station and demands access to her mom's files. They've been untouched for over 17 years, including her mom's diary, which has been held as evidence by detectives and never seen by Lalana. But now, since she is finally of legal age, she's granted access to the whole police investigation, and for the first time in her life, Lalana reads her mom's diaries.
I got up early this morning and went to get Donald up for school and caught Bill with him. He tried to hide what they were doing, but I know what I saw. I told him not to touch me ever again, and if he touches Donald, I'll kill him.
Wait a second. Whoa. Hold up. He was having intercourse with his own young son and his daughter? Wait a second. There is no way, bro. A grown-ass man with kids. No, I can't even think about that, chat. We getting back into this. I can't even sit there and think about that shit, bro.
Is in a state of shock her whole life. She believed her mom ran away and never loved her, but she now realizes that, all along, her mom knew about her father's abusive behavior and was prepared to fight for the safety of her children. She soon discovers another disturbing piece of information inside her mom's file. In 1981, a year after her mom's disappearance, a man had discovered a skull in a farm in Boone County, Kentucky, about a mile from the Major's old home. At the time of the discovery in the 1980s, science wasn't advanced enough to test bone material for DNA. So, in order to identify a body,
you do gotta chat. You do gotta think about it. It was back in the day when this shit was going on, so they really didn't have like the best DNA tests. They didn't have like the best samplers, none of that, bro. They had very minimal things that they could provide evidence with, so it was way harder to conduct and find out what was going on in a murder case like this, bro. They didn't even know this was a murder until 20 years later.
Compared to dental records, but unfortunately, that wasn't possible.
He would have manipulated her head to pull her teeth out and to remove her lower jaw. Remind you of horror movies that you watch on TV.
There was no face, there was no jaw. It was just the top of the skull that had a distinct bullet hole right in the top of it.
Lalana then
So
decides to go back
chat, that means this guy knew what the hell he was doing.
to Boone County and search for herself. If she finds the rest of those remains, identification will be possible, and it will be one step closer to finding out what really happened to her mom. When she arrives at the site, she takes out her shovel from her car and digs.
I was really hoping to find something, because I was like, if I could find something, if I could, that would be something more than we have now. If I could find the rest of her body, but at the same time, it was constant terror that I would find something.
But despite all her efforts,
Finding your own mom's corpse or bones while you're searching for them has to be one of the most disturbing things to ever see. Imagine going out and looking for your mom's body that was 20 years earlier when she died, and you actually find it. Crazy. Imagine the feeling you're gonna have from that shit, bro.
he doesn't find anything. Lalana is exhausted and stops searching for the night when all of a sudden, a break in the case happens.
Ethan, what the
Lalana
fuck?
receives the news that with new lab technology, they now only need a small sample from the skull to create a DNA profile.
The one thing that was holding up the prosecution and finally getting justice for her and being able to get closure for my family, being able to lay her to rest.
If the grandma knew that the mom was killed, why the fuck didn't the grandma go say something to the cops when she found out? Chat, the grandma told the young girl at the time that her mom was dead and that she had been dead since the beginning, but never told the police? Like, come on, bro.
Hinged.
That's
on
really
that
fucked
DNA
up.
test. It came back that it wasn't her. You have to start all over.
After the forensic evidence returns back from the lab, it is proved by DNA that the skull did in fact belong to Marlene. The missing case of Marlene Major has officially become a murder case.
Learning 110%, she's gone, no coming back, no chance.
Lalana is crushed by the confirmation, but despite her broken heart, her fight is not over yet. She realizes that her last option is to confront her own father and try to get a confession out of him. Lalana calls him and asks about her mom's disappearance.
Just tell me what you did with her body so we can bury her, and I'll leave you alone. I said, I won't force the issue, won't try to get you prosecuted. And he laughed at me.
Wow.
And his specific words to me were, if you think I'm going to tell you where your mother's body is, you're crazy.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. So he not only just admitted to being the murderer, but he also just laughed in his own daughter's face because she asked where her mom's body was. That's fucked up, dude. Yo, you gotta be a sick individual to do some shit like that and then laugh about it.
So at that point, I told him, I said,
Facts,
okay,
Ethan.
It's on.
Lalana is
Grab the
determined to
fucking
get a full
choppers, chat. We
confession
going
from
on
her
a
dad,
mission.
which is the only
I'm
way to
blowing
prove
his
him
ass to
guilty.
pieces,
Her
bro.
drive to solve her mom's murder inspires a new detective, Todd Kenner, to work on the cold case. Detective Kenner comes up with a plan. He asks Jim Major, Bill's father, to call his son and have the police record the conversation in an attempt to get a confession.
Basically asked him what we were after was to get what details he could out of him.
Bill, I said, I'm calling you up. I want to know something. He said, what's that? I said, why won't you tell me where you buried Marlene?
I keep getting calls from Lalana.
Yo, hold on. That means that all of these people knew she was dead when it happened. His dad knew, his mom knew, everybody knew that she got killed by this man, but nobody turned it into the police. What is wrong with these people, bro?
And she wants to know where her mother is so that she can get the bones and put them in a casket and have closure.
Yeah, and put me in jail for life.
Christ, at least you could be decent enough to say where you dumped her. I'll tip her where the body is if you let me know.
And then she's gonna bounce it right back on me again. Then I'll have them Kentucky cops coming up here to arrest me and take me back down there again.
There was no denial there. He's basically saying, if I tell the truth, I'm going to jail.
You were pulled off the perfect crime.
I'm confused. Why do they need the body? That is literally, he's sitting there openly admitting to the murder saying he knows where the body is, but he's not gonna tell anybody. Why the fuck do they need to find the body whenever he's literally admitting to it, bro? That's evidence right there. He should be put in jail on the spot right there. Why are they trying to keep digging? Like, what is the point in that? I mean, I understand finding the body would bring the family some closure, but at the same time, putting that bastard in jail would bring the family a lot of closure too, bro. Probably more closure than finding the body.
Haven't you?
No, I wouldn't call it perfect. Because if a crime was perfect, nobody would ever know about it. That's when the cop says, we got him. We got him.
Don't you even feel bad for killing her?
I don't have any kind of conscience about anything.
Wow.
To think to the son I
That
raised
means this motherfucker ain't got no soul, bro.
could do such a thing.
There's no good son of a bitch I'd hang him myself if I could get my hands on him. He don't deserve.
Yo, that's his dad that just said that. He just said I would hang him myself if I could get my hands on him. His own dad just said that about his son, bro. Ain't no fucking way. Yo, imagine hearing this on television and watching this back on television and your dad says, if I could get my hands on him, I'd hang that motherfucker too. Like, yo, that's crazy to say as a dad, bro.
Deserve to breathe the air.
Wow, wait, chat, y'all listen, wait, whoa, we gotta listen to this shit again. Hold on, we gotta listen to this.
To think to the son I raised could do such a thing.
There's no good son of a bitch I'd hang him myself.
He said that no good son of a bitch I'd hang him myself. Bro, that's a bar right there. W line from the dad.
If I could get my hands on him, he don't deserve to breathe the air.
With the DNA matched in the skull and this incriminating phone call, police have enough to arrest Bill for the murder of Marlene Major in 1980. On the 25th of June, 2001, in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, Bill is arrested at his home for murdering his wife. On the way back to Boone County, in the back of a police car, he openly confesses about what really happened 21 years ago.
Wow.
It was late at night on October 12th, 1980. Marlene and Bill were fighting downstairs when the conversation ended with Marlene threatening to leave him and take the children. She exited the house and got into her car. And
the craziest thing is her taking the children was for the better. The dad was sitting there S.A.ing these kids, literally graping with a G, grapes. I love grapes. Grapes are so good. Grapes are amazing. His own children. And he was, I mean, obviously that was probably the reason he wanted them to stay, but like, come on, dude, you gotta be a sick motherfucker to do some shit like that.
Followed her.
She said that she was screaming at me, I couldn't take it anymore, and he said that's when I shot her.
And after he shot her in the head, he would cut her head off, knock her teeth out with the butt of the gun, and then he would remove her jaw, and cut her up in little pieces and spread her throughout the state.
He claims that he got rid of the...
Oh my... Yo. Do y'all understand how messed up that is? That is like, he fully cut her body up, busted her teeth out with a gun, cut the jaw out of her sockets, and buried body parts all over the state. That is brutal, bro. That's one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard of.
Gun in a pond and left his wife's skull in his sinkhole. He then pushed her car into the Ohio River.
I think the crime scene was probably contained to the vehicle, and so her body and all the evidence of the crime remained in that vehicle. So when he got rid of the vehicle, he essentially got rid of the crime scene.
During the next few days, despite intense...
Wait, think about that. Yo, if he dumped everything, like the gun and all of that in the vehicle and like put it in the water, that shit's all still gonna be there if they can go back to that exact body of water and find out where it's at.
Searching, police are unable to find the gun, the car, or Marlene's remains. However, the prosecution possesses sufficient evidence, including positive DNA testing and Bill's confession to his dad, to successfully indict the killer. July 28th, 2003. Bill Major is trialed for the murder of his wife.
He better get a
Marlene,
death
and
sentence,
tampering
bro.
with physical evidence. Glenn St. Hilaire, the family's handyman and alleged lover of Marlene.
Chat, I just got macaroni and cheese everywhere all over my table, bro. I just got mac and cheese everywhere. This is gonna be a mess.
Takes a stand and describes how Bill Major seemed to push him and Marlene to be alone together and encouraged him to have a romantic relationship with his wife. Both LaLana and Donald are there to make sure justice is served, and they testify about the molestation they endured growing up. LaLana describes how Bill threatened to kill her if she didn't keep their secret. The court stays silent as they listen to the harrowing tales of the siblings. It takes the jury less than an hour to find him guilty.
And when the verdict came back, I just almost dropped. I did. I just...
Yo, if I was that family, I would be so, like, in shock because of this. This case is truly one of the most disturbing things I think I've ever heard of.
If my brother hadn't had a hold of me, I would have collapsed.
Bill is sentenced to life without parole. During the final remarks, officers note how much LaLana truly loved and cared for her mom.
LaLana had been driven for a long time to bring closure to this and to bring her father to justice. I mean, it was obvious.
My bad, chat.
It's just, you could see the passion for this in her eyes, the way she talked. Even though she didn't really know her mother that well, she was just a child when all this occurred. She had a lot of love for
I
her
even
mother.
got it on my phone.
Today, after having confronted her dad and finding out the truth about what really happened to
Y'all did not see that?
her mom, she proved that her mother never abandoned them. LaLana and Donald's mom actually did the opposite and gave up her life trying to protect them from the monster they called Dad.
I have spent so much of my life absolutely terrified of that man. And now I don't feel anything for him. And I finally felt a sense of peace. That
W's. That's amazing, bro.
That she finally could.
Yo, that's a dedicated daughter right there, chat. Like, really think about it. Her daughter, like this woman right here, when her mother died, she didn't know nothing about it. She was a young little girl. She even barely knew her mom. And she still went out of her way to, like, even though she was being lied to her whole life, she never believed it. She always wanted to have her own thought process. And that kind of goes into what I tell y'all sometimes. Be your own person, bro. Never be what somebody else wants you to be. Never follow a crowd somebody else wants you to follow. Never do something just because somebody else does it. Be your own person and always do your own thing. Because look, this woman done her own thing. She was her own person. She had her own thoughts. And guess what? She solved her murder case, her mom's murder case because of that shit, bro. She got her mom and her whole family closure because she had her own thoughts. She went about it her own way. And she believed something happened when everybody else didn't. That is why this case got solved. If she would have followed along with everybody else in this case, if she would have believed what everybody else was saying, her mom would have never gotten closure, and neither would her family, bro. Yeah, that's just simple as that.
Rest.
Throughout the years, Donald has kept supporting LaLana, and together, they broke the cycle of abuse created by their father. Even though it took years for LaLana to heal from the wounds created by her father, she is living proof that even after tragedy, there's a life worth living. With incredible strength and resilience, she managed to face her own demons in the name of her mom.
Ultimately, she died to protect us. You know, she was trying to get us away from him and to get us out of that situation.
This is one of the best ones we've watched yet, bro. Big facts. In memory of Marlene Oaks.